Okay, this is part two. In the last part, I showed you the main riff part and the basic strumming chords. And that sounds pretty close, but it's not really exactly how it sounds when you listen to the original recording. Now, there's multiple guitars on the original recording, so one of the tracks might be standard tuning, but the one that's most recognizable is in an open G tuning. So let's get into an open G tuning right now. The easiest way that I do that is by matching unison notes. And open G tuning is I want to take my 6th string E and tune it down to a D that's an octave below my 4th string. Okay? So what I'll do is I'll grab my 6th string and I'll pick the 4th string D and I'll start tuning down the E string until it's an octave below the D. That sounds pretty close. So now my 6th string is actually tuned to a D note. Next, I'm going to take my 5th string A and I'm going to tune that down to a G note that's an octave below my 3rd string. So I'm going to take my A, tune it down to a G. So here's my G's on 5th and 3rd. Here's my D's on 4th and 6th. So I'm going to leave my B string, 2nd string, exactly where it is. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1st string E and tune that down to a D, but an octave above my 4th string. So my E is now a D, and now my 3rd string B, my 2nd string B on the 3rd fret should be the same note as my open string E. So now I have an open G tuning. Alright, now what am I going to do with it as it relates to this song? Well, it's going to make that opening riff part and the strumming part a whole lot easier now that I'm in an open tuning, and it's going to sound a lot more like the album. So instead of fretting the 3rd fret on the 6th string as I did in a standard tuning and sliding up to the 7th, I'm going to hit a open 5th string, which is now a G, and I'm going to strike the 2nd fret of the G string, the 5th string, and I'm going to slide it up to the 4th fret, and then I'm going to hit that open G. So open, 2nd, pick and slide up to 4, and then hit the open G. A little bit faster. Now after I do that, then all that I have to do is just let go of my finger and play the open G chord. It's a lot easier than sliding up to 7, hitting the open G, and then getting my fingers back into position to play a G chord in standard tuning. So altogether, it sounds like it's a heck of a lot easier. So, and even if I flub it and don't hit the right note up here after the slide, it still sounds okay. So, that sounds a lot more like the album now. Because now we're in open tuning, we can do a whole lot more with the inside of the chord. So, this is the open G, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to, it's going to be a modified C chord, and I'm going to use my first finger on the first fret of the B string, and my second finger on the second fret of the 4th string. Okay? And then I'm going to play the open 5th string. So it's going to sound like. So, 2nd string, 1st fret, 4th string, 2nd fret. So altogether, it would sound like. Sounds pretty good, huh? Well, it could sound better if I played it better. Anyway, it sounds more like the album than the standard tuning. So the main chords that we'll go through in this version with the open tuning are the G to C, and then we're going to play an F chord. Now this isn't the sequence of the song, I'm just showing you the chords. The F chord is going to sound like this, and when it's going to be 4th string, 3rd fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 2nd string, 1st fret. So it's going to be that pattern. Okay? So 3, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret on 4, 3, 2. And then what I'm going to do to give it some more color is I'm going to add my pinky finger up on the 1st string, which is tuned to a D, up onto that 3rd fret. And then if you really wanted to get fancy and get that note here on the 6th string, curl your thumb over and press down on the 3rd fret. And you're muting the 5th string, not playing a note there. Okay, but anyway, this is the main chord for the F chord. And then to the C chord, you want to keep your pinky up there. No, it doesn't work. And then to the G. And then, Aw, Ain't That America. That's 5th fret, and it's a bar all the way across. Ain't that America, you and me? Ain't that America, something to see, babe? Ain't that America, home of the 7th fret to 5th fret. So that chorus part is, ain't that America, 5th fret, when you and open, ain't that a 5th fret, you and me, ain't that a 5th fret, 7th, 5th, to open. Variation is when you're doing that chorus part, is you can use that bar chord on the 5th fret, and then when it goes up to the 7th fret, you can throw in the Keith Richards type and do it again when you go down to the 5th fret. Doing there is up on the 7th fret, you're doing a full bar all the way across, and then you're taking your middle finger and putting it on the 2nd string of the 8th fret. You're skipping over 3, keeping that down, and then you're taking your 3rd finger, ring finger, and you're putting it on the 9th fret of the 4th string. So it sounds like this. And you're kind of just bouncing open and hammering onto that stuff. Okay. So, anyway, that's that. So, this was the part 2. Showed you how to get into the open tuning, which is the open G, taking the E string down to a D, taking the A string down to a G, and then taking the top E down to a D to give you the open G. A whole bunch of stuff you can do with that open G chord, especially once you get a slide. So the next section, part 3, we're going to put it all together. We're going to use this open tuning to go through the song sequence in the open tuning, which I think is the easier way to play it, but it does require you to get into an open G.